That's James's meal. I don't know if I'll have enough time for talking about all this. My battery's low. So, top of the stacks long shot. Then Jack Ryan season 3, Within, and Beauty and the Beast. And we'll see how it goes. So, I'll first talk about long shot. I won't say much about it. I mean, you'd think it'd be good, just given who's in it. I liked Captain Crunch's grinder date and the portrait with the eagle and the flag vest while watching the movie. Somehow it was the potato in a jacket that had the staying power. I was laughing about it when I woke up in the middle of the night. Seth Rogen was so lovable in this. I think anybody would go for him. Even, I mean, they picked Charlize Theron, which is perfect, right? Because she is so beautiful. She's, I mean, everybody must think she's the most beautiful woman, really. She's just very lovely. Although she's too thin for my taste now.
Usually,
yeah. But a lot of people go for that now. So whatever.
Seth Rogen's like a kid who's good with a marijuana habit.
Yeah, it's great.
I didn't
great
say
watching
addiction,
him.
But
Sure. Now, Jack Ryan season 3. At first, I was like, oh, this is kind of boring or whatever. But I mean, I tried to follow this with this right away, right? So after a little while of watching this, I actually enjoyed it. I like watching these things. Within, this one's long, 196 minutes. That's a lot longer than I thought it would be. But what it is short stories, and they're all pandemic stories. And some of them are really good. So this was put out in 2022, and I liked the story called I'm Listening most of all, and the one that I liked second best was called Mother. It was great too. So I'm really glad that art came out of the pandemic, because that was a good time. So now I'll talk about Beauty and the Beast. I fondly recall watching this mid-'80s series with my mom when I was a girl. I recall asking my mom which of the two was supposed to be the Beast. I didn't find Linda Hamilton attractive then. And in that line makeup, Ron Perlman looked his best, as far as I'm concerned. My mom thought I'd been offensive. I could tell everyone in the show seemed to find Linda Hamilton's big jaw and big shoulder pads attractive. I did not. I still don't find her look particularly attractive, but I think she may have been the perfect example of what was being marketed as female perfection at the time. So Linda Hamilton was not an unattractive beast of a woman. I'm not saying that. I just thought Ron Perlman looked really good too. So she's no Charlize Theron, but who is? To my young eyes, Ron Perlman was no beast in his cap makeup. He was Aslan, eager to sweep you into his arms and into Narnia. Only his Narnia was in tunnels and caves beneath New York City. Before the Fresh Prince's uncle lived in Bel Air, he lived in Vincent's Narnia. Well, the actor, same actor, right? And one man who started out there went on to become a Ferengi who ran a lounge in Deep Space Nine. So there's a lot of faces that you would recognize in that show. It's a silly, sappy, romantic story woven between scenes of the Beast running around or hanging on top of an LRT car with his golden locks flying in the breeze. Beauty gets herself in trouble and the Beast comes to her rescue again and again. Spoiler alert. For some reason, perhaps because Linda Hamilton got sick of being in this silly show, the writers killed her off at the end of season 2. But leave a baby Beast for the Beast to chase after and add a more beautiful Beauty to the story. Unfortunately, that Beauty can't act well and has no chemistry with the Beast. My mom and I stopped watching the show before the end of the series, which didn't last long after Linda Hamilton's departure from the show. I remember asking my mom why we didn't watch it anymore. I remember her telling me that it just got too silly. Having finally made it through to the end of this series, I see she was right. It may seem silly in the first season, but compared to how much of a whimper this series ends with, it started out with a roar.
A lion roar.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just the show. They tried to throw some good actors and they tried to weave more story together from episode to episode and stuff like that at the end there, but honestly it was too much for the writers to handle doing that. There were things that didn't make sense that were happening, and you may say, well, how can you say that? This whole story doesn't make sense. You know, it's just a fantasy thing. Well, there's a reason why they couldn't continue to pull that story along at the end there.
It's just a fairy tale to start off with, right?
That's true, yeah. But there's a lot of things in that show that I was watching it and going, I wonder if they got this story, you know, from this, you know, somebody was inspired by this scene in the show to, like that, what was it called? That, it was called National Treasure with Nicolas Cage. I was thinking maybe they got because there's one episode where they find buried treasure, not buried treasure, so like treasure in an old ship that somehow got under New York City in tunnels or something. Like, it didn't make any sense. But I was thinking it sort of reminded me of that other movie, whatever. But I don't know. I don't have anything else to talk about.
It floated up the sewer system.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. I mean, they tried to explain it like to help the people watching go, oh, okay, maybe it's possible, but no, it didn't make any sense.
Oh.
So, I guess I had a bit of a Beauty and the Beast theme here today.
Oh.
On the top and on the bottom of the stack. But
No such thing for this Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan.
no, that's all very serious.
Is it thriller stuff, or what does this Tom Clancy bring?
It's the action adventure sort of.
Thriller stuff.
I don't know. It's the guy stuff.
Yeah,
you know, with
it's
people running around with guns and.
Yep. And people with even bigger guns.
I actually enjoyed watching it.
Okay.
So, I mean, not as much as this one. And, you know, if it were just these two, the two stories that I told you about, that one would actually go here in the stack. But as a whole, this one doesn't beat Jack Ryan as far as I'm concerned, because there's some stories I liked in this. I thought it was kind of funny, the one where the woman has the guy that she just met as a one-night stand, and then they break it off, but his flight was canceled at the airport, so he comes back, and then she traps him in her apartment. I thought it was funny, but the acting wasn't great. And by that I mean not good. I mean, there's some of you can really tell the actors in this who are legitimately great actors, and ones who really
are there for their looks or whatever.
Well, the ones who rely on good directors or whatever, you know what I mean?
Or bad directors.
To pull the movie along. So there's a lot of good actors in here, but I mean, I like Emily Mortimer, for example, and Julianne Moore, but I just didn't find the shows that they were in particularly good. So,
is this supposed to be set in America or what?
Oh, I suppose so. I guess like some of them were. I don't know if they all were supposed to be. I think so, though. Yeah. So anyway.
On this pandemic story.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed it.